Hello guys, this is Joyce from Enjoy Scrapping 2. So this was the mini album that we were working on, and this was actually a project for Triple Designs LLC, so I wasn't going to continue it, but many of you guys wanted me to continue and finish, so I'm gonna go ahead and do so. And today we're gonna be working on the cover. Okay, things are not completely done yet in here. I still haven't matted a lot of things. As you can see, I haven't really done anything since the last time I posted the last video, and that's mainly because while I was working on this, I was in my craft room for like 2 weeks straight, like all day, and so I kind of needed a little bit of rest, so I didn't really work on anything. I did go ahead and mat. This is our envelope one with the card, and then for this, instead of using the card, I just made a couple tags here, you can see, and I just put it in there with the pattern paper with the 6x6. So that's an easy tag. Just use the paper, and I wanted to go ahead and so I that's all I did was mat these. The rest I didn't really do anything. I didn't think about it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and work on my put the cover so that, you know, we can use additional papers to do the rest. So I went ahead and cut. I'm using a black chipboard. This is the medium weight chipboard, and you want to go ahead and measure out your album. So mine, where's my ruler? So mine measures from the spine here to the tabs. It measures about 9 inches. Okay, so I went ahead and cut it by 9.5, so it sticks out a little bit longer than my tabs. Okay, I did that. And then even for our album itself, this is 5 inches. Remember, it was 5 inches, but I went ahead and added about 1/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom, because I have some things sticking out, which I don't mind at all. So I made it into a 9.5 by 5 inch cover. Okay, so for the spine, you want to go ahead and do the same. Obviously this is not completely filled yet, but this measures about 1.5 inches. So I went ahead and cut my spine to 1 3/4 inches. Where's my spine? Okay, lost my spine. Okay, so I'm back. So again, I cut my spine. So you want to go ahead and measure your album to 1 3/4 inches by 5.5, and that will give us about 1/8 of an inch on both sides. So this can go ahead and just be stuck down, and we still have slight room there for the expansion. If you add additional, you can see that. Okay, so I've already attached my score tape to my spine, and I used the 1/4 inch because I wanted these to be kind of movable. I kind of said that I wanted this to be kind of rounded. I'm not going to do that, but because this thing, it's still kind of movable, so which is great. Somebody asked me about the Tyvek. I just forgot the name of somebody who asked if we can paint the Tyvek, and yes, you can. You can paint your Tyvek. It's kind of like almost like a fiberish, so it does really soak it in, so it's really great. You can color it to any color you want. And another question that I had was, can we attach this to our binding. And yes, you can, because you can see here I used the one that had the attachment with the cardstock and the Tyvek. But if you want, you can just use this as the spine itself, which I've also shared. I don't know if I can find it, but I did make one just with the Tyvek. And it feels like, you know, it's really thin and stuff like that, but this is very durable. This is not going to tear and things like that. So you can make the binding just with this without cardstock. So that was one thing. So I went ahead and colored mine. Initially I was going to lay this, and I said I was gonna reinforce the spine again with the Tyvek, because I put the Tyvek on the inside, but I decided not to do that, and I'm gonna use it to attach our bindings. Okay, but you can see that this one is cut a little bit shorter than our album, which is perfectly fine. And so I'm gonna go ahead and attach our cover to our album. So what you want to do is obviously the spine here. So it's going to be laying like this. Okay, you don't want it completely like this, and it's not gonna really be able to bend. So you want to give about 1/8 of an inch gap right there, just like so. Okay, on both sides. And then we're gonna use a Tyvek to attach it. I'm going to use a score tape, plus I'm going to use a multi-matte medium so that I know that it's really stuck down. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so once you've done that, you're gonna have something like this if you did it like I did, and it folds perfectly fine over here without any wrinkling of any sort. I did leave a slight 1/8 of an inch gap there. You can see my matte medium peeping out. It's not quite dry, but it will dry matte. So this is how it's going to be, like so. I decided to add the Tyvek on the outer edges, but you can use it like this as your inside. You can see that. See that? Then you'll get a little bit more of room as far as the binding. And I've used both the score tape and the matte medium. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this in like so. See? And then our flaps will get attached to this. Okay? So that's up to you how you want, where you want to put your Tyvek, on the inside or on the outside. I'm gonna keep mine on the outside because either way it's fine, because we're gonna be covering the spine as well as the book itself, so that is no problem. Okay, like so. I think I'm gonna have it like this. I like the clean edge right here when you do it this way versus if you do it the other way. You're gonna kind of even though we're gonna cover it, it's a little, that's up to you. Okay, so it'll move around more. So I'm gonna have it like this. Okay, so go ahead and attach that, and so when you open it up, you can see, you can decide if you want this like, you know, centered right here. I don't know if you want your album to be in the center of this, because made it a little bit larger, or you can just do it this way, and then you can have additional things sticking out of the top. I may choose to do that, maybe bring it up just slightly. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and attach this to this. This is where you can decide if you want to keep this into a pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and stick them down completely because we can always make an external pocket over here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. Bye. Okay, so I'm back. I didn't attach the flap on the front yet because I want to like fill this part in a little bit before I go ahead and attach it. You don't need to. You can go ahead and attach it now, in which I probably might just do. But then you can see how it looks, and then there you go. There is that hinge, and it's really strong. You want to use a very strong adhesive, and then we're going to go ahead and back this anyways. So now from here I give you a couple of examples of what you can do for the bind what is this our binding part, as well as the cover. So you can use fabric to this area if you like. I've done that in the past, and also you can wrap your paper around so that the edges don't get, you know, so it's completely like covered. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you have to like wrap your book, so you would cut it larger and then wrap it. I'm not going to do that with this particular cardstock because of the fact that these crack. So I don't want the cracked edges over here, because it'll definitely crack if we do the folding. So I'm not going to do that. And here are, originally this was going to be my cover. So I said to save, you know, one for the front and one for the back, and that's what I was going to do. I was gonna maybe use her, and or you know, but then I really love her, so I want her to be on the front, but I used the other paper already. So this is basically what I'm left with of the 12 by 12 that I saved. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably cut it down like this and put her here, and then maybe for the back I might like choose out maybe this area so that it would kind of match, because you know, the same color, right? I'm sorry, so it's the same color. So I want this to be my back, so I will be cutting off this so that I can get more of this design in the back. And so for my spine, that's what it's called, for the spine, just so that it will kind of coordinate. If I use this as a spine, and the back is so I don't know, I might actually use, if it's big enough, it might not be to do the spine, because I want my spine to be, so this right here measures 1.5, I said, I think 1.5. So I want my spine to come out to at least about 1 inch. So you're going to go ahead and add 1 inch here if you're going to do that, and add 1 inch here. So that's it's going to be 2.5 inches. So once I cut this down, see, it would kind of look, there's no other color here. So I may use this butterfly pattern here, just so that it will kind of color coordinate the front and the back in a way. So I might use this as a spine. So go ahead and choose that out, and I'll meet you back. So this is up to you here again, where if you want to cover it completely or you want to leave a little bit of the black. I'm going to leave a little bit of the black. That's why I thought this black chipboard was awesome. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut her down so that I would have about, I don't want to leave like a 1/4 inch. I want to only leave about 1/8 of an inch of the black. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, now that I have my cover on, as well as my spine, when you for the spine, you want to go ahead and score it here, depending on how wide your album is, and you want to make two, like you want to make another score at like 1/8 of an inch, so that the book can open and close with ease. See that? Okay, I did attach it here already. Okay, again, here you want to make sure to leave that little gap there that we had, because if you attach it like straight on, then it's not gonna either open or it's not gonna close. So this is what I have. As you can see, that's the back. There you go. Before I do anything else now, I want to go ahead and reinforce this even more. And how I'm going to do that is a little bit of buckling. I use some matte medium. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use tissue paper to create like a faux leather look. Okay, and that will also reinforce more of our cover. Okay. So what I want to do is, let's see, get something. So obviously we're not going to be able to do both sides. You want to, I don't want her face around her area to be too textury, and we're gonna just grab any this is like the white tissue paper that I normally use, crinkle it up, and we're gonna go ahead and attach it. Okay, the more texture we have, the better. And we can still see our pattern paper, and we're gonna create like a faux leather look. I'm gonna use a matte medium to attach this. Okay, I just want to kind of make sure that I don't cover up her face too much. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Also gonna do, it's okay if you get to the edge of the book. That will kind of seal it as well. I'm gonna go ahead and do it all over this page. Okay, I'm gonna doesn't really matter, but I don't want her face to be too I want to still be able to see her face. I don't want too much crinkles around her face. Okay, and the rest you can just scrunch it up. And I'm using that, I don't know if you can tell, it's darker. The background is the $2 craft mat, and it seems to work really well. I put like matte medium there earlier on the mat, and it dried. I let it dry, and it picked up still. So create some extra crinkles here and there, and we're gonna do that for the spine as well. Just want around her face to be lighter. And you can do the edges if you like as well. Like I'm talking about the chipboard area. That would just give us additional reinforcement there. I didn't put any glue there, but I will now, so that we can not glue, matte medium. I did add a little bit of water to my matte medium. Okay, do the edges as well. Again, at the top. Can't really see. I don't know why my camera is gonna die. I haven't recorded anything. I fell down a couple days ago, so I tripped over my dog. She always like was walking like right by my legs, and then I slipped and fell, kind of okay. So go ahead and do that for so when I ink this up this time, you know, for the edges, I used archival ink so that it won't like bleed through. And then, so go ahead and do all of that all around. And then also put matte medium on top. And then I'll meet you back. Okay.